Hey guys, welcome back to the operational record reading. We'll be starting with Nihility today. The first story of Nihility is Night Watch. When Winter Sweep 2 turned into a black hole due to the gravitational collapse, drawing numerous onlookers, you suddenly had the urge to open the protective barrier of the sightseeing ship and take a leap towards the event horizon of intertwining light and darkness. Death is always tempting. It is like a carnivorous plant with the brightest colors in the forest that lures the lost insects, yet cut off their path. Where should life lead? You have no clue, but you are certain death is not the answer. You listen to each sorrowful tale, seeing them seep into the crevices in the cosmos, making the hopeless journey seem insurmountable. Even so, you still yearn to be a guardian at the edge of the black hole. You want to stop the children who intend to plunge into nihility and tell them the future lies in the other direction. Story 2 is called Sin Thirster. When they send you to target's information, they only watch you from afar and dread to come closer. Hailed as a moving dagger, you are assigned to eliminate enemies efficiently with no sense of self. You suppress your presence, avoiding the sight of both human and machines. You complete the assignment swiftly, as it is a walk in the park for you. You try to recall the target's expression, shock and fear. A vicious assassin might find pleasure in this, but you see your own end within. Once all enemies have been eradicated, the assassin will no longer be needed. You should not have chosen this path from the beginning. Under Freya's ensanguined expression, no one has lent you a helping hand, and the fallen detective has never given you a choice. When your employer's servants knock on your door, you get up as usual and head toward the exit to accept the fate that you were already dead. These stories are kinda sad, though all of them are sad so far. The third story is Common Mortal. When you accept the flowers from a young man, his antenna twitch slowly, sending subtle electromagnetic waves to your sensors that convey how much he doesn't want to let go. The humble Hymenoptera residents still see you as their friend, even though they can hardly accept someone without compound eyes as one of them. They bring you along as they go back and forth between the honey fields and their nests. In your book, they are described as a group even more savage and despicable than the Annihilation Gang. You can't help wondering what constitutes truth. Pride and prejudice have seeped into knowledge, forming a perfect model of the universe. So much so that it diminishes the value of knowledge, turning it into a mere illusion anyone can tamper with. You know you are lost, but there is no way to find your bearings. Whenever you think the next planet can offer you the answer, it only leaves you more confused than ever. Story 4 is called Sizzling Thunder. Standing in the middle of the stage, you stare at the bleak shade of red in the sky, knowing what will happen next. The much-awaited future will never come. The sorrowful past will fade into the white dwarf star's vortex, and sheer silence will ensue. Timid lords will escape by stars, and helpless children will weep in the streets. As for you, you will remain standing here until the last ounce of your life is a blazing conflagration. You know everything has lost its meaning, and no one can rewrite how things end. Yet you insist on singing for this planet you hate vehemently, for it is rotten but warm. You want to sing for the sun that kills, for it is glaring yet gorgeous. Even though everything is coming to an end, you want to express your love for this world one last time. With the song's thunderous echo, you let the entire universe know that a band and a planet named Emerald 3 once existed. Story 5 is Jester of Anatta. You swallow a Tami protozoa's egg, which explodes like a bomb in your mouth the moment it comes into contact with your saliva. The audience cracks up at the sight and applauds your funny look, but they will soon forget about you and turn their attention to more exciting shows. You need to find something more eye-catching for your performance. It can be blowing up the farm in Hiaif's Federation, setting the nosewalkers free to run on the streets. It can be stealing a tycoon's pocket watch and being pursued by the private guards at the capital of Passion. It is self-destructive and meaningless, but everyone will cheer for your absurd actions. They will burst into laughter as they watch the funniest clown in the universe. When the stage crumbles in self-destruction, the audience leaves in disappointment. Lying in rags and debris, you mock your pathetic self. All of these are going to be so sad. The next story is Self-Proof Institute. The mercilessness of the universe is in the annihilation of the soul. When people reach the end, they walk towards that void. There is no future, no new life. They bring nothing with them, as if they've come to this world from the future. This is why death is oh so horrifying. But even so, people can still leave something behind. A symbol of the fight against nihility, and as proof that certain names once existed. You have answered riddles that stumped the world, etching your name using formulae and history. You have treated plagues that ravaged stars where white crystalline statues erected in your honor will far outlive you. Time is too short. Thus, your mind and hands never stop for a moment, proposing axioms and creating machines. The people worship your relentless diligence, but never sense your fear. Faster, even faster, creating even more, leaving behind even more, until you'll never be forgotten. This one has an extrapolation rewind. In the gravel deserts of the planet Tarian, hot gusts blow through the sands as you drag your ever-aging body slowly through this desolate wasteland. Many amber eras ago, lush wetlands and grasses enveloped the areas here, but they regressed to nihility before you could. The flowers are lucky, they can never fear, let alone grow attached to the value of existence. Intelligent life has the power to open its own eyes and see it must face down the ever-approaching finality. What does one have to create in order to leave behind traces of our existence? Stars, destruction, or civilization is the choice that we get. I think civilization, because every civilization leaves behind some traces. But can this really reach eternity? You ask yourself this question over and over again. Even if you devote your whole life's wisdom to it, there's still no way of fishing up an answer from the ocean of knowledge. You kneel down upon the wasteland, letting the gravel dig into your knee and draw blood. The blinding winds dry up your pouring tears, as though laughing at your foolishness or comforting your sorrows. What's the point of going all out just to prove yourself? You keep trying to leave behind traces of your existence, but gradually end up just losing yourself. I'm feeling so very tired. Lying down ever so gently on the ground, you feel the boiling rocks hurting your skin. It's been since a long time since you have felt so clearly that you're still alive. If you die, you die. The only thing that can replace life is life itself. The occasional flowers grow out from among the gravel. They lie dormant beneath the hot sun and sprout shoots once the rain falls. Looking at these little flowers, you finally discover the gift that you want to leave behind for the mortal world. Can it really be forever, or can it remember me, the forever? Maybe not. You sow your final seed of invention. May they bloom among the desert gravel until flowers cover the entire wilderness. May they continue to proudly face the nihilistic future long after you're gone. The next story is called Self-Annihilator. The spiraling, fathomless abyss hovers in the twisted dream, deeper and darker than the dimmest corner of the world, where even the lightless background can also cast slices of shadows on it. You gaze at that vortex, your life infinitely extended, diced into shards that flow and fall. From the ground into the sky, you jump up, hoping to keep your doppelganger, but when you stretch out your hand to touch it, all you can feel is a cold wall. This is your home, but it may also not be. Your memories full of holes gradually rotting away. You see your other self walk out, open the door, but fall right into the darkness with one step. You try to rush over and catch him, but you just can't seem to find your vanished arms. You raise your head in bewilderment. The sun has sunk into the great sea, and like melted flakes of snow, you also start to melt. You are fading into yourself. Perhaps you are the sun? You once again fall into the abyss. This story has a rewind function. I have it open on the other option, so sadly I cannot show it to you guys. It goes as follows. A dark road appears before you like a scar carved into the dim world. You stagger up, withered limbs creaking and cracking. You move along the road almost out of instinct as sharp thorns pierce into you, but you have long forgotten any sense of pain. Perhaps even your entire body so that you cannot even tell the difference between dreams and reality. The path grows narrower like a rope. You can see the city on both sides and a butterfly floating past in the air. What a pity, you hope it won't drown in the air. The two options you get are, what is the butterfly and what is death? You have no interest in finding the answers to the problem. You dully observe your festering self to be verging on collapse, like a baby watching an anthill being flooded by the rains. The ants float in the water until the water clears and they start to rot into the soil. You'll also become like an ant, helplessly and unconsciously moving on down the line, sliding up towards the sky. There's two options. I don't want things to end up like this, or there we go. Your voice is swallowed up by your broken throat, and you cannot say a thing. Luckily, this should be the final thing that you ever lose, and you will never again feel any pain or sadness because of it. Things are just like returning to the womb, as you gradually use your limbs and shrink back into an embryo, converging into a single cell. The only option you get is 3 dots, silence, and then everything falls silent. So far, every single story is like really sad though. Next story is called Rescuer. You see that your every move is being predicted with flawless precision. You understand that everything you do is no more than a fixed trajectory. The silhouette of Nihility envelops you. You may struggle or accept it, but they will all eventually annihilate in a pre-written storybook. Will you accept this? All you have to do is forget and spend the rest of your life in uncaring bliss. No, you must fight back. You must raise a battle cry. You must raise the flag of rebellion against this tragic universe and save the people from the pre-written conclusion. Massacre, destruction. You point the mouth of the cannon at the ones you love the most. No hesitation, no suffering. Just close your eyes for a second and you can help them escape this world where life is worse than death. However, you must still bear the torture of staying alive, as there are many more that wait for destruction's salvation. The next story is called Death Denier. You awaken in your cold hospital bed as a sweet smell of food makes you nearly sick. Transkersty syndrome is a complete breakdown of the body, starting with the immune system. As you look over to the side of your bed, you see the water tank that held poor cephalot patients not long ago, whose non-stop mumbling in the tank would keep you awake all night. The scholars on the news are showing viewers bottles that load black holes, but black holes are so far from you, and you cannot leave your hospital room. Anything outside of this cube is a space that may as well not exist to you. Survival is like an endless struggle. Some win, some lose, and some choose to quit. Even though death is always patiently waiting at the end, you remain resolute that you will take your first victory before you meet it. The next story is called Doctors of Chaos. Nihility is a relentless disease embedded with existence, gnawing at consciousness, life, and the very fabric of the universe. The gloomy abyss consumes the bodies of self-annihilators, while the fog of self-doubt pulls civilization into black holes. How profoundly tragic their being is, and how diminutive you are in comparison. You will mend the flaws they left behind, filling the hollow chambers of the human heart with jigsaw pieces of meaning. You will hold those who wander in a delicate trance, using clouds and potions to calm the world's aching void. You will catch every soul about to jump into the whirlpool and soothe every spirit fallen into annihilation. At last, you will prove the existence of the self and show that everybody holds meaning. One day, you will stand face to face with that dark celestial body and heal the God who exists within this world. The next story is called Executor of Vengeance. Information of the commission sinks into the depths of the crystal, delivering precise and unambiguous coordinates. You navigate through the shielding of the cognitive recognition field, purchasing a ticket to the outskirts of the city and access rights to 10 cubic meters of oxygen before ascending the creaky stairs to the rickety apartment. An Intellitron with less than 10,000 system hours of runtime. A young man. Is it a vendetta? A love affair? Or a business feud? You pass through the quarantine door. gun aimed squarely at his brow. Confused, his logic circuits rapidly progress the situation. He knows who's trying to kill him, and why. So he pays you handsomely. You return with a core, and leave with 2 heads. If revenge breeds more revenge, then deafen the chain of hatred. It's not curiosity driving you. You're merely fulfilling their wishes. The next story is called Relative Tracer. What a magnificent aphorism. The concept of relative cognition lost to history. You became a devout disciple of this bygone school of thought when you clutched at straw as your ego fell. You know that so-called reality is merely an island formed amidst chaotic cognitive fluid, and that the world will shift according to your imagination as long as your beliefs are transformed. You are no longer swayed by fancy words, choosing instead to heed the maxims that explain everything. Now map your world onto a canvas devoid of abstract concepts, of gravitational forces that rend the heavens, and of absolute truths. Instead, there are only malleable cognition and the void. When you open your eyes, the world comes into being. When you close them, the world vanishes. They scoff at your sophistry and deem you mad, so no longer listen to their voices and kill them within your world. This one has an extrapolation rewind. The adults say that the world is going to be destroyed and that the endless glaciers will crash into the continent, obliterating the surface under the pull of gravity. Then the frozen seal of the pre-battle caregiver will plunge all life into eternal silence. But you firmly believe that this is no more than the fake and fleeting words of man. You feel an intense cold and begin to shiver, but this is just another illusion. A trap trying to enforce these ideas on your mind. You close your eyes and attempt to picture the real world in your mind. There is no cold, no death, or no war. No cold. A world of warmth, where the entire universe is sealed inside a bottle. There is no such thing as other planets or aliens. They are all sensational stories made up to trick children. All of those diplomats that swear they have seen aliens before, they are simply naming things they have seen as aliens. For example, a vacuum cleaner known as an alien. Another example of relative cognition at work. You hear the sound of a tall building collapsing and find yourself plummeting to the earth below, but you are not scared. You can just give it another interpretation. I have become a leaf, I have shrunk to the size of an ant, or I'm having a nightmare. I'll go with a nightmare. If you close your eyes, all pain is no more than an illusion. You continue to picture your world, the real world in which everyone can live happily ever after. The screams you hear out the window are simply the calls of birds celebrating a lavish wedding ceremony. A freezing liquid drips onto your leg as you feel a shock. Do not open your eyes. The moment you open your eyes, you will be taken in by the deceit of the false reality. You curl into a ball and find yourself pulled deep into the depths of the void, into your own personal, sealed off and perfect snow globe. All of the Nihility stories are actually really sad, ending with death or somebody killing someone else. I'll be reading Abundance next. As usual, the previews are usually visible on my Patreon. If there's anything else that you guys want me to read the stories of, please let me know. I was thinking of reading the Dead by Daylight background stories and give like short explanation of like the character skills and things like that. So I might actually work on that as well next to the Honkai Star Rail stuff. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. It does help me or my videos be more visible to other people as well and be recommended. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a nice day, evening, night, or morning. And I'll see you guys next time.